Hello and welcome to the bonus edition of the Discordancy podcast. So, for this episode, I would like to talk to you for a bit about proportional representation. So, I checked the episodes list and I don't think I have talked about this. Yeah, I checked and I have not talked about this. Episode 20, I have been sleeping at 2 a.m. lately. I'm doing it again. Let's see, parliamentary democracies, that's different. First past the post, that's a very specific voting system, which I have tackled here on episode 24. Then I keep losing audio. I rant a lot on TikTok. Oh boy. Yeah. I have not talked about this topic or any topic related to this. Alright. I'm getting a bit drowsy now. Today we are going to talk about proportional representation. I am very fascinated by proportional representation. I really am. It's as a political nerd, I did not take political science, but I am a political nerd. I will learn about civics, public policy, local governance, and politics in the next few years, don't worry. But even by some standards, I am a political nerd. And I am really fascinated by the concept of proportional representation. As far as I know, there are four ways to implement proportional representation in a given chamber in the upper house or lower house. First, we're going to talk about closed list proportional representation. That is currently enacted here in the Philippines with the party list system. They use closed list proportional representation. It's very limited proportional representation. I do not even think you should call it proportional representation. It's a very limited amount of seats, but there's so much competition that I don't even know if the way that the seats are distributed here in the Philippines using the party list system can be considered proportional. It's more like just ranked, like the biggest parties get 3 seats and the rest just get 1. That is not proportional representation. But it is enacted here in the Philippines in a very limited and very flawed way. But it is enacted. Right. Closed list proportional representation. A good example of that would be in the Netherlands. You just vote for the party. Okay? You just vote for the party. That's why it's called party lists. The party gets to create the list of people ranked in a way that will determine who will be prioritized to occupy those seats in their chamber. Like in the lower house of the Netherlands, if let's say candidate C, then candidate D and candidate A were listed in that order from first, second, and third, and they only got 2 seats. Only candidates C and D will get to obtain or get those seats. I think you should. I know that's confusing, but bear with me here. The next one is open list proportional representation. That's where you vote for the party and the candidate. You only get 1 vote, but you do vote both for the party and the candidate. What you do is you choose a candidate from a list that is affiliated to a political party. It can even be an independent. An independent can be considered as a party under open list proportional representation. So, you get to choose one candidate, just one. Then your vote will contribute to that candidate's votes, but also to the party's votes. So let's say you chose party 2, and party 2 got 40% of the seats in a given chamber. Wow, that's nearly half. That probably might be the biggest party in that particular chamber, because in proportional representation systems, you rarely get a majority. Now, let's continue. If party 2 gets 40% of the seat of the vote share, they also get 40% of the seats. But party 2 does not get to determine who is prioritized in occupying those seats. It is you. That's where the candidates' votes come in, because they are then ranked by who got the most to the least. So, if you chose candidate B and candidate B got, let's say, got second or third, then they will get to occupy the third seat. Candidate 3 will only get to occupy the third seat if the first two candidates, the two most voted, or two most voted candidates under party 2 get to occupy those seats, and so on and so on and so on, until party 2 gets to occupy the allocated seats. I think that was simple enough, right? I know it sounds complicated, but it is pretty simple. Closed list, you only get to choose the party. Open list proportional representation, you get to choose for the candidate, but you also get to contribute to the party's vote. Next, we're going to talk about single transferable vote. That is when you rank candidates from first to however many candidates there are. Let's see. Let's say you chose. Let's think about names now, not letters and numbers. You put John first, then Mary second, then April third, and then Tyrone fourth, out of 5, or maybe even 6. Let's say 5th and 6th. Who would you be your 5th and 6th? Ronald and Elon. Okay. How am I supposed to explain this? STV, single transferable vote, is a bit more complicated, but I will try to explain it to you in an oversimplified way. So let's say there are only 3 seats available and 6 candidates ran. Ooh. So your first choice is John. If John exceeds how am I supposed to explain this? In STV, there is a quota. If 3 candidates ran, the quota is 25%, I think, because the quota is determined by the amount of votes in total divided by the number of seats plus 1. So the percentage is 25%. If a million people voted, you need 250,000 in order to be elected. 250,000 first preferences. Then, if the candidate that got first has surplus votes, those surplus votes will be calculated at a fractional value. No, the ballots of those people who ranked that candidate first their second preferences will then be counted, and then be distributed to those candidates at a fractional value. I don't know how exactly to explain to you the fractional value because it is complicated, but do look it up. You will get it. Okay. And finally, mixed member proportional representation. This one is similar to the Philippines to how the Philippines elect their representatives, but this one is a lot better than that. So half of the seats are allocated via district representatives, like first past the post, while the other half is for the distribution of seats. You know, you get two votes. One is first is for your candidate. The candidate is voted via first past the post. The second one is the party vote. Those are two separate votes that will determine two different outcomes. The second vote, the party vote, will determine what proportion of seats each party gets. Right. Yeah. So, if let's say let's say party 2, no, party D, party 007, let's go with that. Party 007 had 15% of seats, but in the candidate portion, in the candidates section, they only managed to obtain 10%. That remaining 5% will then be compensated in those additional party seats. So, yeah, proportional representation is a bit complicated to explain at 10 past 2 in the morning, but once you do look it up yourself, you will get it. One of the no, not one of the most preferred system that I want, the two most preferred systems that I have, my two most preferred systems in terms of proportional representation is single transferable vote for the House of Representatives, and then open list proportional representation via DRE voting machines in the Senate. You can ask me more about this in the comments, or if you just talk to me in any social media platform that I'm on. Okay. I am getting a bit tired. Not really a bit tired, really tired, but you know, I can do this. I have two more things to talk about. So, oh boy. Okay. This will now be the longest episode of this show, this web podcast series. So I do hope you listen to all of it. I think that is it for now. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of me doing this again. Bye bye.